Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, I'm Bruce, aka Haunted Husband, and welcome to my Indie Game Collective showcase of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Now, if this is your first time or your 100th time on my channel, hit the subscribe button, won't you? By subscribing, you'll be notified when my videos go live daily. I cover a lot of indie games, indie demos, and great content like this from indie developers. So if you're into all things indie, you found your home, smash the subscribe button right now. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is an Indie Game Collective showcase of the game. So you may be wondering, well, what's the Indie Game Collective? Well, let me tell you. We're a grassroots community of content creators who focus solely on indie games. And we do so through live streams, videos, written reviews, Steam curation, podcasts, social media, and so much more. In the description below, you'll find a link to our Twitter page, where you can find out more about us, how you can join us, even how you can get your game showcased by us. I'd like to give a big thanks and shout out to developer Northway Games and publisher Finji. I'm probably butchering the crap out of that. It's Finji for the code for allowing me to play this, and to the Indie Game Collective for giving me a chance to showcase this to you, the audience. So enough of the pleasantries. What's the game all about? Spend your teenage years on an alien planet in this narrative RPG with card-based battles. Explore, grow up, and fall in love. The choices you make and skills you master over 10 years determine the course of your life and the survival of your colony. As you can see, this says it's the demo version above me. It's kind of like over here, you can barely see the word demo. I have the full version of this game, but unfortunately it does not unlock until the day the game drops. Which, when you're watching this video, it will be August 25th, and the full game will be out today. So you can go to the description below and find a link to the Steam page where you can pick that up for yourself. Unfortunately, with time constraints and the rest of everything I have going on, you have to record content when you can record it. And I will be going back to this in the future, covering the full release version down the road. Well, that being said, it has the tags of Life Sim, Choices Matter, Deck Building RPG. It has full controller support, so I'll be using my Haunted Husband purple PlayStation 4 controller. And since at the time of the recording it's not out yet on Steam, I can't tell you how it's being received, but I guarantee it's probably going to be overwhelmingly positive. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. I'm very curious to see what life has in store for us here. Oh, let's do this first. Content warnings. There are many ways in life. There are many ways to live your life in Vertinuma? Vertinama? I'm just going to call it Vert. And just like in real life, some choices can lead to dark places. Broadly, content warnings for the game including the following: major character death, children in peril dying, animal cruelty and death, body horror, implied sexual content, drugs and alcohol, violence and text, mental health and trauma, domestic abuse, traumatic global events. So if any of these things right here are a red flag to you and it's going to hinder your enjoyment, I should turn off the video now. Thank you for watching up to this part. Make sure you subscribe and like before you leave, because I don't want you to watch my content and then something happens. You get a little PTSD, you have a flashback, a cold sweat, anxiety, or anything like that. So just be warning that this game contains all these things. And I'm not too sure how much of that we're going to see in the demo, because the demo is just the first year. The full game has ages 10 to 19. So we may not see any of that today. We may see all of that today. So just a fair warning before getting into it. Wake up! And once again, here's the warning. The game deals with mature subjects. It may not be suitable for all players. Please see our list of content warnings in the system menu for a detailed list of themes and events. I was not about to click on every one of those. I hope those give you the gist of what's in store. Once again, this is your last chance to turn back before we go too far into it. And if you have to leave, I completely understand. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe. Comment just saying, thanks for the video, couldn't watch it because of blank, and then when I do my full look at it in the future, maybe I could edit some of those pieces out that are really not hindering your enjoyment, basically. See, what's going to hinder my enjoyment is this. Like, I can't do like first person games or first person perspective that much because it gives me severe motion sickness. So we're probably going to go as fast through this as possible. You wake to chaos, confusion of light and heat and the smoke, fire. Your head is pounding, you must have hit it and blacked out, but you aren't sure how you got here or what on vert is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Through the fires and the flames. I can't remember her name. She's gesturing, shouting at you. All you hear is a ring in your ears. We have a choice of what's going on and climb out. Let's just climb out. Like, that's not... Try to stand up, but when your legs falls down useless underneath you, it won't hold on your weight. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. It's a pupper. Glowing eyes, you shake your head and clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog from Earth? Is it a good doggo? No. No is the answer. The creature howls and lunges and its jaws open. It's a bad doggo. Hopefully that's the last of that, because that gets me some kind of way. Like, I really wish I didn't get motion sickness to the degree that I do get motion sickness. Because there's a lot of good first-person games out there. Especially first-person shooters. Like, I really want to play Resident Evil... The last one that came out, The Village 7, whatever it is. But it's all first-person. I played BioShock back in the day. I would play 20 minutes of it, get really sick. Come next day, play 20 minutes of it, get really sick. I powered my way through BioShock just for the sake of enjoyment of the game, but ever since then I've been like, no, if it's first person, I have to pass on it, regardless of how good it is. You are born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. I couldn't imagine that. Could you imagine being born on a colony ship and being taught in class about some distant planet that's like 10 years away from you that you all came from? Oh yeah, we all came from this planet called Earth. Oh yeah, there's millions and billions of people on that planet, but we live in a starship 10 years away from it. That would be like a mind. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens, which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Anybody? Is there lab number 420? Like other colonists, they barely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vert 4 in the hope they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way. Wait a minute. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged their cultures and traditions. They name you. So you're saying there's an option to create kids not the old-fashioned way. They're going for there to be sexual situations in the warnings. They say that they had you the old-fashioned way is kind of like a way of getting around that, sort of. I don't like any of these names. Holy shit, that's a lot of pronouns. Holy... Hold on, let's, I apologize. I thought by clicking the name, it would give me a keyboard to... We're just going to plow through this as fast as possible. We read all this, what's going on. Pulls you. It's a doggo. Bad doggo. Since I'm using a controller, I thought by clicking on the name, it would give me like a pop-up keyboard. But that's not the case, which is fine. We were literally like a minute in the game. Maybe 2 minutes. Why can't you say that your parents bumped uglies? That they procreated? That they did the nasty? That ship is like so Jules Vernon-esque. It's every George Méliès Journey to the Moon. Are you fucking kidding? Oh, thank God. I could have done this from the beginning, but I didn't. Of course, you know who I am. I'm Bruce. Name change Bruce? Okay. I am... Are you not going to let me... You're not going to let me... Okay, it's a right analog stick. I am a man. I am a manly man. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination, sometimes too active for your mom says. You have vivid dreams of things you've never experienced, dirt under your feet, skies over your head, endless jungles, strange animals. You wonder if this is what Vert will be like. Every child on the stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see one of these first signs. Eagle eyes, extra fingers, absorbent brain, super strength, calm temperament, nothing at all. I don't want extra fingers. I don't have a calm temperament in real life. Eagle eyes could be cool because, like, I'm very perceptive. It's really part of my job in life. You have to be very detail oriented. But super strength sounds is so freaking cool. Uncle Tonin says it's a lazy person's dream. Eat whatever you want, don't exercise at all, and you still like you spend all day in the gym. You're incredibly strong for your age, but you go easy on your friend. Our friend is studious and mature. So we're strong, right? We're going to be strong and bold. Strong and... What's the opposite of gentle? We're going to be very brash. We're going to be strong and brash. So someone, if we're pretty strong and brash, we need someone energetic and loyal. Most enthusiastic person. No, your favorite memory is the time she taught you how to play ZRG sports ball. After class, she never means to get you into trouble. So now you always seem to find it with her. That's fine. I'm just going to call her Annie. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. So it's a 20-year voyage. So your parents decided halfway through the voyage that now is the time to have a kid. Not before they left Earth. Not in the first couple years on the ship. I guess they waited till the journey was halfway over to be like, okay, this is a viable journey, let's bring a life into it. Your professor house says it's like a doorway on the other star systems, with the planet Vert 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. When the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, then things start to slide off the tables. You're to gather near the escape pods just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's going to be fine, Bruce. Your dad sues. Our parents are very interesting looking. I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll be through the wormhole and down on the planet before you know it, just like we practiced. Your mom gives you a sharp, worried look. Red emergency lights switch on as sirens begins to sound somewhere in the distant ship. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look at the porthole. The stars are gone. You're frightened. I'm going to put on a tough face. That's what I would do. Put on a tough face. Sometimes you pretend to be confident so that people around you will be less scared. Look over at your classmate Tang. Realize she's doing the same thing. She gives you a hard smile. You return it. Keep focus on your breathing. You wait. The shaking builds. Oh fuck, here we go again. Then everything starts to get very weird. The hallway stretches and stretches. You're stretching too. Your arms impossibly long. Here it feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon, contracting down to the size of an atom. At the same time, is this the wormhole? If that's the wormhole, I've been through a wormhole several times in my life. You hear the distant, ominous squeal of metal giving away as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The worst part is the sense of deja vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, and you know somehow that everything is going to be okay. So it reaches a crescendo. You hear a impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall. Head first, you black out. You slip unconscious. You feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow all at once, and more than just one tomorrow. Lots of them, different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place that you didn't know from. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams, till it feels dramatic ridges and a stranger, but also not a stranger. Grinning as she grabs your hand, hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distance you can feel the ship shaking has stopped, and your parents' worried voices, like one of them sounds like Kermit. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the med bay. The med bay under you plays a soft tone. Automated voice speaks. 2 weeks has elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completely healed. They may now be safely discharged. Man, that must have been head of a head injury. It took me out for 2 weeks. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems bright in the room. It's so bright, you try to focus on the window. Something's definitely different. It's probably a lot of things. Let's go with trees. Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns is streaming through the windows. You peer out and see fields, glass-walled domes, and walls ridged by giant mushroom-like trees. There are construction materials everywhere and people walking around outside on the ground. You better get out there and join them. Did I miss the chance to customize my look? I'm gonna say no, that's just what the main character looks like. Which is fine because it's made to be androgynous on purpose, so there's whether you're in the middle on one side and another. You better get out there and join them. I'm cautiously going to step outside to your new life. We just recovered from a head injury, and rushing too hard might lead us to injure that. Oh shit, here we go. This is the living quarters. The ship's quarters are where everyone sleeps, eats, and hangs out. The private bedrooms are small. Share room with your parents, so colonists spend most of their time in the big common area. There's a lounge, a cafeteria, and a creche. Although kids maybe. Oh, Tammy jumps up and steps out of the ship quarters behind you. You're awake. Are you better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. To walk, click on the ground, click on characters to talk to them. Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head, she says. I bet your parents were worried. Your dad is working over in the geoponics near those domes. They're called greenhouses. My parents are hydroponics masters. I think I know what a greenhouse is. I would go with you, but this as far as I've been from the ship since we landed. Tammy stammers, blushing. It's scary outside. Making my way downtown, holding fast. There's a volleyball net, some type of hoops. Hey, there's our dad. Bruce! Your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Insistence thought. Dr. Instance? Is that the name of the doctor is Instance? Dr. I thought it would be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year. My snoozy little gooseberry. My snoozy little gooseberry. If you excuse me. That's going to be the title of this video. So at now this point, You saw the title of the video, you clicked on it, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. Now you know. This is where the title of the video comes from. Oh, you love your dad. He's so embarrassed. Look, I love my dad. I'm a big, tough teenager, but you know what? I love my dad. Welcome to Verde, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric from the outside, except in pictures. The ship is separated into two. The parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way to the hill. I imagine it probably is beautiful. I mean, we've been asleep for 2 weeks. So we don't know if this all went up in a day, 2 days, a week. If they just finished it moments before I woke up. But I'm curious what's outside the walls. Oh, don't worry about that, my dear Aubringe. Note for myself. Did I spell that right? Totally didn't spell that right. Nothing that could hurt you. We just don't want getting lost in the big world out there. Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out from... My brain read that faster than my mouth did. I read something dirty there. Oh, before I get, he pulls a package out from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what today is? Yes. You don't honestly know. You remind him that you've been asleep in the medbay. Happy birthday, he shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already? You feel a dizzying sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package. Some years ago on the ship, inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad maybe made by hand. Open the package. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? It's +1 challenge, +1 challenge. It seems like it'd be rude to be like, I know what's in there, Dad. How did you know this? It's exactly as you imagined, as you dreamed. Dreamed? As you dreamed. A feeling of panic rises in your throat. Your hand shakes, but how? Your dad notices, are you okay, Bruce? He snaps his finger. Dr. I shouldn't have let you out so early. Sometimes those sleeping meds take a while to wear off. They might make your head feel funny for a few hours. You nod. Maybe that's all it is. Nah, man. I dreamt about this moment. Someone shouts at your dad. Listen, I'm sorry, Bruce, he says, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed, and he stops himself. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. Your mother and I. Okay, you had me worried there for a second my mom didn't make it. Professor Howe's expecting you in class if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing in the rear end of the bisected ship, and he points to a large doors you came out of earlier, or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head, ruffles your hair. How wonderful birthday, Bruce. I love you. I unlocked Study Humanities and Engineering. I love you too, Dad. To enter buildings, click on the door or the flag beside it, or get close and press enter on the action buttons, and choose an activity for the month to gain skills and advance time. There are 13 months in a year and 10 years at the end of the game. You only have time to focus on a few things. Oh. You see Dis sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly, without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need the walls? That looks familiar. You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory so strong that you think you may faint. That's kind of weird. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something erroneous and dark and wriggling. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, or of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you dreams weren't real. Breaking you from your daydream, Diswis, I think there are monsters out there. Hmm. I mean, I tend to believe him. No, you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic. I can tell. Nobody believes me. They're huge, wriggly, and dangerous. Stop making fun of me. You're just as bad as Mars. My dude, I believe you. Like, hiya, Bruce. And he seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around her with her foot, making patterns in the weird blue snow. The stuff is different from snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat. You can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little, and is simple, physical. And it is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. What are you making? Just a snow spiral, she says. Earlier, me and Cal made a big snow pile. You missed it while you were sleeping in the med bay. She smiles her broad, gap-toothed smile at you. Now that you're awake, we can play. Why aren't you in school? She smacks her forehead. School? I wonder where everybody was. I guess I'm going to be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. It's okay, she says. Professor Al is chill. He won't mind, but we should probably go now. She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey, race you. No fair she is getting a head start. Is this... this? Engineering. A low throbbing noise comes from the engine room, which provides power to the colony. Other corridors lead off to the teaching labs and med bay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of the wing is off limits to children. Congrus, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Bruce. Studies life sciences. It gives us 2 plus biology, plus 1 reasoning, plus 1 friendships with tangent, plus 15 stress. 2 creative, plus 2 persuasion, plus 1 friendship. So I want 2 persuasion, 2 creative. Yes, be persuasive. Look at this dude. Welcome, Bruce. Professor Al greets you. I hope you're all warmed up, ready to study the glorious humanities, history, literature, language, media, philosophy. Hey, perfect. That's exactly what I want. Yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient Earth poetry, too. He seems excited about the last bit. By the way, if anyone is interested in taking engineering classes, please register through Congruent Scheduling Systems when you have a chance. She'll be helping me teach you. This time is an easy one, Howard says with a yawn, because I was up late repairing Congruence's subterminal. I could use a nap. I'd like you to write an essay on what vert colony means to you. Damn. Freedom, equality, democracy. My friends are all here. I feel safe here. Just doodle instead of writing. I don't feel safe here, so these two are not my things. I mean, the gang's all here. This seems a little bit too... there doesn't seem to be like anything... You write about all your buds and the fun things you do together. You know what? I'm on board with that. When Hal wakes from his nap, he asks a few students to read their essays to the class. Mars is annoyed that you hardly mention her. Well, you aren't really friends, so... Man, back off, Mars. So here's the card part of it. Nice. When you work or go to class, you will play a quick card challenge as the month passes. Move cards to fill 5 panings and make the best hand you can. The order matters. If your total in the circle on the right reaches the goal value, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won, but you still get a reward for doing your best. How do we know... How do we know the order? Bonuses for flushes. Same color together. Hey, I thought this was the future, right? I thought we were putting things in the colors. So right now the best I have is like 2 of a kind. Does it have to be the same color? So bonus for flushes, same colors together. Bonus for pairs, same numbers together. So reds and all reds, all blues, that's a flush. And you get bonus for... Okay. I'm trying to understand the math. Because at the top, you have 3 magenta cards. And they're all 1 apiece. They're all the same card, mind you. And that gives you 3 magenta. But you have 2 cyan color cards that are 1 apiece. And they only give you 1 point. And then below that are the yellows. 2 zeros give you 1 point, but 3 twos give you 3. I don't know. Bonus for straights, increasing from left to right. 0, 1, 2, 4, 5. I mean, technically that's not a straight. Because you're missing a 3. The more cards in a flush, pair, or straight, the higher the bonus added to your total. Cards can also affect each other and can be arranged to find the best total score. I mean, just... But what if... I just did it in the order of... I basically just did it in the order of the mental progress. Your skills increase when you work or go to school. With extra skills, you win the challenge. Kudos bonus if you make the highest scoring hand with your cards. Working also increases stress, which prevents you from working. It reaches 100. To relieve stress, take a month off to relax in the quarter wings. Is there a stress meter? Or is it just at the top? Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know growing food is an important job and it's vital to get the crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up in the stratospheric when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed. Though you can tell they're exhausted, they make an effort to spend some time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen you much of you, little Gooseberry. Your dad says your mom watches you as she works a pebble out of her garden tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? You know, I learned some stuff in school. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, stay out of trouble. Yes, ma'am. Dad smiles, and Professor Howell will give you kudos if you get good grades, and you can spend those at the depot once it opens. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom, I think there's a lots of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that the colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future, and if that means to find your own way, we'll accept that. I'm 10 or 11. You can't tell a 10 to 11-year-old that you're old enough to make your own decisions. Like, your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas of how you can spend your time. And come by geoponics, your mom says. We could use your help. Unlock shoveling dirt in geoponics. Early quiet. Mid quiet, month 2 of 13. Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? Just playing in the fresh air. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Bird is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I miss seasons. Back on Earth it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. Just you wait until dust season. Both the suns will be high in the sky. It'll be real hot, then you'll see. That doesn't sound like fun. You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouse with a small construction crew. You've seen these plans pinned on the wall of your family's quarters for years now. The geoestic domes will home the more delicate plants from Earth, spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do, she says, remember, Bruce, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time so long as it's productive. She points toward the engineer wing and the back half of the stratosphere frame. But I also expect you in class, but as well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hand on your shoulder. I've got other minute. Anything you want to know? Can I join expeditions? Oh, you're too young to leave the colony. It's dangerous, she shakes her head. Your father would be worried. There's so much we still don't know about the world out there. Let the adults find out. Then maybe you can join them in a few years when you're older. She gives you a stern look. She isn't going to budge on this one. For now, stay inside the walls. I was told it was safe outside. We only got a few minutes left in this video. I'm not going to... Yeah, I want kudos and toughness. The greenhouse has different biomes inside. Growing plants from Earth might be along in the desert, jungle, or temperate forest. Some of the delicate, you have to spray off the germs, the seasonal. It's your first day in the glorious world of agricultural soil convenience. Oh boy. Good morning, Bruce. Looks like you're working for your old lady. No. Hope you don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my son. She walks around the Jabonk wing, points out where everything goes. Your job is to move sod, compost, plants, garden waste, and equip from one place to another. Get comfortable with this, she says, pushing a squeaky old-fashioned wheelbarrow towards you. Now, any questions before you start moving dirt? Let's just get to work. That's my boy mover, Mom says, slapping you on the back. You stumble a little bit. Your arms start to ache for the first half hour of work, but you keep on going by the end of the month. You feel early drained and exhausted, and somehow, you feel your muscles growing already. Get to work. Is this another card battler? Hell yeah. Let's do that. Is that the best? So we got 13. I can imagine let's just go 0, 1. I think that's the best score we're going to get. Our stress is kind of high. But we got 6 kudos. This week you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what something is about, remembering what somebody is about to say or just do before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning, you sure Professor Howell was going to trip on an even floor in the cafeteria. Supposed to play off hash browns. You even told Marshall to watch. He didn't, though. Professor Howell walked away. His hash browns safe for the day. Marshall called you a liar and a dummy. That's why me and Mars aren't friends anymore. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our look at I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Once again, thank you to Northway Games and Finjai for hooking me up with a code to the game so I could show it to you, the Indie Game Collective for allowing me to showcase it to you. Once again, in the description below, you find a link to the Steam page where you can pick this up for yourself. It just came out today as you're watching this video. It's a lot of fun. I like the deck building aspect of it. The RPG choices, as you can see, we have a full spectrum of things to fill up. There's relationships to maintain. There's cards to collect. There's bonuses. There's collectibles. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So this is definitely going to be something to look forward to in the future, and definitely pick it for yourself. I definitely see sinking numerous hours in this before getting completely lost and then being like, damn, I spent so much time playing this. If you enjoyed the video, as always, I ask you to like, comment, and especially subscribe. By watching the video and liking it, you actually push it further into the YouTube algorithm, because YouTube's like, hey, these people watched it and like it, let me show it to more people, so forth and so on. I'll be back at it again tomorrow with more indie games, indie demos, great content like this from me developers. And until then, my floating teenagers in space to be a teenage, I don't know. Usually have something witty to say in the video, but my mind's tired from making so many tough choices and working a wheelbarrow. Until next time, I'll hunt you later.